Hey sister.
Hey, sister.
Welcome back to the Hey Sister podcast, where we talk to nurses about their journey through nursing, hoping to inspire and build a bit of a union within the sisterhood. Today we have a little bit of a different flavour with a nod to our October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We've got a bit of a special guest on today who's not actually a nurse, so a little bit different. We thought this is really timely given that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We know that 58 people in Australia every day are diagnosed with breast cancer, and of those 3,300 per year die in Australia from breast cancer. And interestingly enough, 33 of those 3,300 are actually men. So this is not just a matter for the sisters, it's a matter for all of us. We thought it'd be perfect to bring awareness to this. After the pod today, feel free to take a look at the National Breast Cancer Foundation website, spread awareness, donate if you can, and hopefully today's pod will get you engaged, thinking a bit more about your boobies.
I'm so excited to welcome our guest today, my very good friend, basically one of my first friends from childhood, Tegan. She's a shopaholic, a coffee addict, and a cat mama. I'm so excited to have her on the show today and chat all things boobies. Tegan, welcome.
Hi.
How'd you get into this job, and what is this job? What do you know about boobies?
So I have been in retail literally since I started working. So at the age of 17. So I've been in retail for over 10 years now. And I've always, no matter sort of what retail job I've stepped into, really been passionate about supporting women, and all of that jazz. So when I got the opportunity to get into the bra industry, I took the leap of faith and got my first job, managing a bras and things store. And then I took a little bit of a break, but then realized how much I missed it. So I've just recently jumped back in to working with bras as well.
I think a lot of people think retail is just like fitting clothes, selling items, but I guess for you need to have knowledge with bras and boobs and how different people have different boobs, and it's more than just selling an item of clothing.
Yes, definitely. Within our training, both at my current role and when I was with Bras and Things, we did so much training around the different types of bras, that fit certain boobs and breasts and whatever. We also even dive into things like maternity bras, post-surgery bras.
Yeah, fitting women post-op is probably something so unique to that role. I know in one of my previous surgical jobs, we saw women post breast cancer excision, so removal of breast cancer, and they would always have the typical hideous post-op bra that only comes in one color and it only comes in one style, and so I suppose you're probably the first person that gives them a sense of ownership over what their new chest looks like. I imagine it's such a privilege, but talk us through that intimate moment, how perhaps there might be some challenges around that as well with post-op women. What's that look like?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, like you said, that there's sort of only one color, one style of bra. We definitely have a long way to come within the bra industry. I feel like there does need to be more post-surgery bras, because often I sort of get a look of oh, is that it? But definitely getting them to even open up, being in that vulnerable state of, hey, I've just had a mastectomy because I've got the BRCA1 gene, or hey, I've just had a mastectomy because I had cancer in my left or right breast. We sell the inserts that you can put into a bra. And sometimes I even offer a wire-free bra instead, because they can still wear that, instead of the post-surgery bras that we sell.
Yeah.
because it just gives them a sense of like feeling confident again as well.
Yeah. For listeners at home, what's the difference between a post-surgical bra and a standard bra?
So your post-surgery bra, for the most part, is gonna have that, um, what's the word? Like that com
Oh,
what
the
am I trying to say? The compression bras. Yeah. So you can definitely go down that route of having a compression bra, or you can just stick to something that's soft, wire-free. Because a lot of the time, when women do have those scarring, they do need something wire-free because the wired option is going to hurt them in the long run.
yeah.
So I find often fitting them into something that's soft, wire-free, compression if they need to, um, and then obviously just making them feel confident in something, that's going to make them feel confident and pretty again.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I imagine, yeah, such a privilege, such an intimate moment. How do
Mhm.
you, nurses will appreciate the intimacy of being with someone who's perhaps nude?
Yeah.
But for you working in retail, it's probably something completely foreign. How did you find going from perhaps fitting clothes or whatnot to now fitting and looking at breasts all day?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments where you think, oh, okay, I'm going to be in a change room with someone, perhaps nude or perhaps with their top off. It's like second nature to me now that I've been in the industry for a couple of years, but certainly um, within our training, we do learn about, how to respect someone, and, their vulnerability, or if they're not comfortable with us coming into the change room, what to do, how to sort of tell them how to fit themselves into a bra is super important because often if they're not in a store or they don't have, the opportunity to have a bra fitter, and they're just trying on bras in a different store,
Mm,
I go through with them, how to fit themselves so that they sort of have some knowledge.
mm,
But certainly, respecting their privacy, but also gaining their trust on the shop floor before they go into the change room is like super important.
mm.
Um, just being quite genuine with them rather than like quite salesy, is how I've found my way into the change room with them. And then what we get taught to do is just sort of stick our hand into the change room because we've got curtains, or if we don't have the curtains, just giving a quick tap on the door saying, "Hey, how are you doing in there? Did you want me to come in?" Totally respect you if you don't want to. I can tell you from out here if what's fitting, what's not. Um, just being sort of like open with them with the communication as well is super helpful.
It's good. It sounds like you offer sort of stages for different levels of comfort as well. Like, I want some
Definitely.
help, but I don't want you to look, or it sounds like
Yeah.
it's really accommodating. Yeah. And
Yeah, absolutely.
How does a bra fitting work?
yeah,
Like
I've
what
never
I
been
yeah
fitted.
no, what are
Yeah.
you looking for? Because actually I probably assume most people don't get a bra fitting unless they're going to a boutique that actually has
Mm.
someone who knows
Yeah.
selling what they're doing. What's it entitled? What are you getting involved in?
So, look, from start to finish, a lot of people don't know that they're in the incorrect size bra. The statistic is that 80% of people are in the wrong size bra. Um, so just if they don't come in specifically saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a fitting," or "Hey, my daughter's looking for a fitting, she's going into her first bra," I always just offer the sort of the second or third questioning. I say, "Hey, when was the last time you were fitted?"
Mm.
And they sort of either go, "Oh, I know my size," or "Oh, I haven't been fitted before. Like, what does that entail?" So then, sort of, you've got sort of two options as a bra fitting specialist. Um, we've got what's called the tape. So we literally just wrap a measuring tape around you, usually within the change room. So again, some privacy, just over the top, like unless they're wearing like a bulky jumper, like it's literally just over their top. That will give me a guide if they don't know. If they have been fitted previously, I sort of say, what size have you been wearing? How is that fitting? Um, and then they might say, yeah, great. Oh, yeah, the Y is a bit uncomfortable, that sort of thing. So that's when I'll sort of say to them, look, let's get you in a bra and we'll see where it's fitting, where it's not, that sort of thing as well. Because a lot of people have that stigma around underwires that they're uncomfortable when they actually shouldn't be. You actually shouldn't feel like you're wearing a bra. So yeah, and then obviously just making sure, then going into the change room, if they're comfortable with it, making sure that the wires are sitting in a certain spot, making sure that there's enough room between. So like if I'm measuring their back, I will put a couple of fingers behind between their band and the back to make sure that that's still firm, but like not uncomfortable. And then same with the straps as well.
Yeah. And then how are you, like at the front, like the wire is meant to be sitting on your skin. It's not meant to be off, I assume. And then is your whole, I
No,
guess it depends on whether you have a push-up bar or a plain bra, like how much is sitting in the
the
cup as well.
yeah, so it really depends on the shape of a bra. So your standard sort of full coverage bra, um, your whole breast should be within the bra and the wire. So essentially, this is where it then dives into like the breast shape as well, because for some people, the wire will be sitting further forward but still holding the whole breast in. Whereas for some people, like myself, I have like a wider set bust. I know that the wire has to sit further back towards sort of underneath my arm for my whole bust to be within the bra.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously, yeah, so even though, like, for example, you were just saying like push up bra, the breast should never be like out of the bra. It should still be in but lifted.
Yeah.
What about, so like I've gained a little bit of weight post wedding, you know how things happen. I'm still wearing my same old bras because bras are expensive and I'm really
Yeah.
scared to invest. I don't know what to invest in, so I haven't bothered in changing my bra size. What's a couple of tips? How do I find a good bra? Not necessarily, yes, the fit, but also the quality of the bra as well.
So, I mean, obviously price point is huge in this day and age because of cost of living as well. You'll find like I find as long as you're in the correct size, you're gonna be like okay.
Yeah.
So if you're finding that your Y is uncomfortable or your back is feeling a little bit tight or you're receiving any red markings around the
Me
bust area. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I was wearing the incorrect size until I got this new job, even though I've been in the bra industry. So,
Oh, wow.
I'm sort of trying to take on my own advice when going to buy bras.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes, women have, body images as body image issues as well. So, for a long time, even myself, like I was buying the wrong size because I'm like, oh, I have to be that size. Like I can't be
Yeah.
any bigger. Like
Go and die.
surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a little bit, it's definitely like vulnerable and scary to go in. All I would suggest is going to get sort of a fitting every couple of years.
Mhm.
Because that way in the long term, you're not doing any damage to your breast tissue if you are wearing the incorrect size.
What sort of damage could we be doing?
So, if the wire is sitting too far forward and it's digging into your breast tissue, that can cause some damage. In the sense of like all the muscles and the nerve endings around it. I don't think it would be doing anything extensive,
Yeah.
but it can cause bruising, redness, soreness, tenderness, all that sort of stuff.
What about for those of us who don't like to wear bras?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think not wearing a bra is okay. I
Yeah.
don't think you necessarily have to wear a bra. Obviously, if you are like, for example, I'm a little bit bigger busted, I probably should be wearing a bra every day. It's more for support. So I think a lot of people don't wear bras because they find them uncomfortable. And then that then brings it back to, okay, well, we should be getting them in for a fitting, or you should be coming in for a fitting. Um, even young girls who are just starting to gain that little bit of breast tissue, they come in and they're like, "Oh my God, Mom, I don't want to be here." Oh. And then like I just talk to them as if they are a grown adult, and I go, "Hey, we've all been here." And from seeing just them come out of their shell from like the start of the conversation to the fitting room to the end where I'm packaging up their bras, and they're like, "Oh my God, that was like so not bad at all." And just giving them a little bit of knowledge, talking to them, but also involving the guardian or parent if they are there as well, just so they know what to look for if I'm not there, because obviously I'm not going to be there all day, every day. Um, but yeah, like there's just so like much involved, and I think just like a lot of people are scared to get a fitting because they go, or they're so sure that they're wearing the wrong size, but when they get into the right size, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so much better." Like, yeah.
So Taneille and I just started playing Oz Tag together. What can we do to support our boobies best when we're doing sport? What are we looking for in a sports bra?
So definitely making sure that it is a little bit more of like a compression. That way you are supporting your girls while playing Oz Tag, but making sure that it's not too tight either. I know there are a lot of brands out there that do offer underwire sports bras. They're probably your best bet when it comes to doing anything in the way of like a high contact sport or running or anything like that, because at the end of the day it's going to support you and your boobies best.
I don't think I've ever worn an underwire sports bra.
No. To be fair, I am part of the itty bitty committee. So I'm not gonna lie.
Which is another thing, right? So like I think if you are smaller busted, I think you can get away with things that women who have a bigger bust can't. I think you could get away with sort of like almost like a crop top, but I still wouldn't recommend that for a high impact sport. I'd recommend that for like your dance classes or things where you're not getting like, I don't know if OzTag is like a high contact sport.
Not high contact,
but
just
you are
running constantly.
Yeah. So anything running, I would recommend anything that says medium impact to high impact, whether that has an underwire or not, is completely up to you. But then making sure that if it is underwire, making sure that the wire isn't hurting you, isn't too like compressed against your chest, because especially like if you are running in it, you don't want it to be uncomfortable. So
Girls got to breathe still.
exactly right.
Yeah. Well, I did a half marathon at the start of the year, and it was for the first time ever in my adult life that I fully appreciated how important wearing a supportive bra is. And whilst I am part of the itty bitty committee, I did need to wear 2 crop tops when going for my longer runs because I genuinely had a sore chest afterwards. And I don't have a big bust.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-laws, they've much more well endowed than I am. And I just think back to the struggle that they had wearing 2 bras, stressing the whole time about how painful it was. Is there any strategies for those girls? I know you said, looking to get a bit more compression and some underwire. But yeah, wearing 2 bras, is that normal?
Look, I know a lot of people out there that do. They sort of wear like something more compressed and then like sort of like a singlet or a crop style bra over the top. I mean, look, if that's what you want to do, then you've got to do then you've got to do sort of what you got to do. But at the end of the day, I definitely recommend, if you are, getting any tenderness in the breasts after a long run, or if you are finding that you're having to wear two sports bras or two crop tops, I do definitely recommend going into more of a structured fit. So with an underwire, brands like Burley, Bend On, they all do, um, or Triumph even, they even do your underwire bras, sports bras, sorry. So I find getting into something like that would probably be more beneficial. Yeah, absolutely. So obviously your nurses, you would see boobies all day, every day. I don't know. I certainly do. So there's obviously different shapes. So like for example, I was saying earlier that I was wide set, so I don't have a lot of top tissue. I have a lot of bottom tissue and then a lot of side tissue, which automatically means that with my wire in my bra, it has to sit further back in order to hold my whole breast tissue. Whereas someone who is more smaller and athletic, they may have their wire sitting further forward because it does hold them in. Smaller breasts, we would say that they're very firm and not a lot of tissue. So someone who is just starting out, like getting that breast tissue, so someone quite young, or someone who's been in sport a lot. I find that someone who grew up doing sport doesn't have a lot of tissue there. So anything that's got like a soft cup or a bralette is perfect, or what we call a contour shaped bra. So it's almost like a 3/4 cup. So it doesn't have any push up, but it does. I find it works better for those who don't have a lot of top tissue, because I find if they try to go into a full cup bra, it often gapes away from their chest, and I have to sort of really tighten them into the bra, which is not always beneficial for them as well, because then it starts to hurt their shoulders. You've then got the round classic shape, naturally perky, and then equally full at the top and the bottom. And that sits well into what's called a balconette bra. So basically what a balconette bra is, it sits the same height all the way across. Middle of the bra here where the wires meet, and the wires on the side is the same height and width. You've then what's got called the bell shape, which is shallow at the top, fuller at the bottom, but it all sort of naturally sits towards the front rather than going round to the sides, which is the difference between bell and wide set. So wide set then works good in a push-up plunge, so because it will naturally push you up, so it'll push you towards the front, but it also plunge, because even though you're wide set, you have a lot of tissue down the bottom, there's not a lot of tissue up the top. You then have slim, which is literally longer rather than they're wide, and then your nipples will point slightly down as well. They're better off in a plunge as well. And then you've got athletic, which is small, wide, firm, high muscle to fat ratio. They're better in what's called like your soft cup or your balconette. So again, that's straight across, because what the balconette will do is it'll lift you without having to go into that push-up range as well. You've then got I get a lot of clients in the go, oh, one of my boobs is smaller than the other. It's like so normal. So normal. But you will see those who do have slightly prominent differences. For example, your mastectomies, or sometimes literally you might be a cup difference. And what we do is, your rule of thumb is to fit the bigger breast, because we can always tighten and adjust on that side, add an insert if we need to as well.
So much variety, and I imagine even within those categories there's even more variety and subsets and all sorts. When you said the slim boobie, it actually kind of reminded me of, like, I was in preparation for today looking at my bare chest in the mirror and thinking, like, imagine looking at this each day and fitting, and where would my breasts fall in with what sort of cup I would suit and whatnot. But anyways, the thing that I got to in the end was that my boobs weren't as perky as what they once were. And despite me having smaller breasts, I think just as time is going on, they're starting to sit lower. Um,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if you have tips around that, maybe a bit of myth busting. Is it true if you don't wear a bra, your boobs start to sag, or if you don't have good support, or what? Is there some myth busting to be had, or is it just a normal process that just happens and you can't avoid
I
it?
think it's a not, yeah, like I think it's a normal process. Like I think definitely a bra will help, but I'm not one to sit here and promote wearing a bra all day, every day, especially during sleep.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna naturally sit where they're gonna sit. Like I know a lot of people say, "Oh, your boobs drop once you have babies," and I'm like, "Well, my boobs have already dropped, so what the hell's gonna happen to me after I have kids?" Like, like they're already down and out. Like they're like Russia and China. Like uh, God knows what's gonna happen to me when I have kids. They may perk up. I don't know. The way, boobs are, they're just going to be the way that they are.
Yeah.
I think, as I said, definitely support them when needed will help. But even just putting on weight, losing weight, that all like generates
Yeah.
whether boobs are going to sit lower or higher as well. I think back when I was 5 years ago, pre-marriage, pre-relationship, I was as fit as anything, and my boobs were sort of up over here. And now I'm sitting 5 years deep into a relationship, and I'm like, my God, what has happened? But they're boobs. Like they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you actually brought up a good point around maternity wear, and your boobs obviously change a lot around that period.
Yes.
We indicated before, cost of living, babies aren't cheap, but you need maternity bras. Do you have tips in that space?
Yeah. So I obviously, like, rule of thumb is to go wire free. I do know people who wear wires during pregnancy, and while it's not the best thing, it might just be like that they feel more comfortable, they feel more supported, and that sort of thing. What I do for that is, if they've just fallen pregnant or they're sort of within that first trimester, I always just recommend wire free, or if they're not looking to breastfeed or anything, just wire free. So the reason we suggest wire free is because the breasts are so tender during that time. So that the wire or the pressure of a normal bra can sort of be uncomfortable. Also, when the belly's expanding, baby's growing, we don't want that extra wire to be pressing onto the lungs and the organs and the belly and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So once you hit about sort of 4 to 5 months, we recommend you coming in for another fitting, or sort of just reassess where your boobs are, because I know a lot of people, they're like, everyone's different. Like some people, their breasts might not grow till the later months. The breast might start growing straight away. So like I've got so basically what we say is multiple fittings are required. And then usually the fourth month onwards, breasts begin to change. And then obviously we sometimes, we recommend going into a maternity bra because the material is designed to stretch. Even like day to day, like your boobs will change. So I know a lot of people don't go into maternity bras because they have the clips and they're not looking for that, but the material that's made, that the maternity bras are made from, is sort of what we're looking to get you into.
I've always wondered that because I've had a few friends who have had bubs already, and I've noticed that, that like still haven't had their baby yet, but they're wearing the flipped bras. And my thought was always, oh, that's just so that they have easy access to feed. And I thought that's a bit weird that they're already in a bra but they haven't got a baby to feed. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When you're having to upsize already, like you're having to change
Yes.
bras already, you may as well already get that bra because you're needing to change bras regardless. And the fact that
Yeah.
you're a bit more comfortable sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So usually within sort of the first, like by the sort of 4 or 5 months, you've gone up naturally about one size, and then usually by the end you're up about 2 to 3 sizes.
Wow.
So if I'm fitting a maternity client, I often just say, if we can just slip our fist into between the strap and the cup, you're basically in the right size for going forward.
Yeah.
Because you do get a lot of like top tissue growth.
Yeah.
With the milk building up, any hormones building up as well. So obviously having a conversation with our customer beforehand, finding out, what they love about their current bra. Is there anything that they want to change about it? Where it's fitting, where it's not, that sort of thing as well. Then obviously, going back to what I was saying before, we do have what's called the measuring tape. So what we do is we take 2 measurements. We go under the bust first to get their band size, and then over their fullest part of their bust to get their cup size. It is just a bit of a guide. Sometimes it can be like slightly like incorrect, like once they're into a bra. Going through the band. So once the bra is on, things that you should look for through the band is it should be firm and comfortable. The front and back should be parallel to waistline. Underband, which should be snug. And with an underwire, it should sit on the rib cage under the bust. So any further forward, I find that it's probably too big, the wrong style of the bra, that sort of thing as well. And then the cup and the wire, it's acceptable for flesh to appear over the sides, just not the breast tissue. Cup should have a smooth outline with no overflow of the breast at the top. Aim is that the breasts are secure even when the customer lifts their arms, twists, or jumps. Breast should be fully contained in the underwire so that there is no double breast. Fabric of the cup should be smooth, stable, and provide support as well as enhance bust shape. Breast should face front and not sag or fall to the sides. An apex of the breast, which is the fullest part of the breast, should be midway between the shoulders and the elbows. All I can recommend is, obviously, it's like so much information that I'm going into. At the end of the day, if you go into like any bra boutique, they should be able to measure. So just going in and just saying, hey, my bra's uncomfortable here, my bra's uncomfortable there, I haven't been fitted in 5 years, which is a lot of people's cases. I think at the end of the day, as long as you're comfortable in something and as long as it's fitting correctly.
What are most people like? Do most people come in and they've gone like a cup too small, or they're trying to think that if they go a tighter size, then the cup will fit better on their chest? What do you find that most people are like skipping?
At my company and at Bras and Things, we called it the magical 12C. So everyone thought they were a 12C. Yeah, so I think a lot of people think they're a size that they're not, or they might just be wearing an old bra, or they've, gained weight, lost weight, and then they're just not sure. They're just wearing sort of like a crop top. A lot of people who have had kids or just can't be bothered to wear a bra are in a crop top that's like small, medium, large. So we don't even know what size that is until we get them into a bra.
I think you've well and truly inspired us, certainly, and hopefully some listeners to go and get their bras fitted. I know I certainly need to, based off this conversation. And by the sounds of it, I'm certainly not alone. Hopefully, too, the conversation's prompted people to think a bit more about their breasts, have regular checks on your breasts as well as having regular, not just checking for breast cancer, but actually checking your breast size and your bra fit equally.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's so important to get checked regularly, especially when you're just starting out, when you're a teenager. We recommend them to come in every 6 to 8 months, or as they see fit. Everyone else we sort of recommend every 2 years or as they see fit. And then maternity clients we recommend sort of every couple of months during pregnancy, and then obviously checking afterwards, and then, you know, just making sure that they're comfortable as well.
Well, thank you for answering all our booby questions. I'm sure people will get a lot out of it and just be encouraged that they're not alone in feeling uncomfortable in their bra or not sure what they're doing. So I think it's a great chat that we've had, and it's great that we've lined it up with breast cancer awareness. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. No worries, anytime.
Tegan, thank you so much.
Bye.